Good morning, first grade. For today's deep dive, we are going to be talking about using context clues to help us figure out the meaning of unknown words. So, when you're reading a text, a book, a story, whatever it is you're reading, and you come across a word that you don't know the meaning of, it's important to try to figure out what the word means so that you can understand what's happening in the story. And we've talked about before how you almost have to be like a detective, right? What do detectives do when they're trying to solve a mystery? Yeah, they look for clues, right? Have you ever seen a picture in a movie or a book of a detective with a magnifying glass studying the clues really closely? Yeah. Well, that's what we have to do as good readers when we want to try to figure out the meaning of a word that we don't know the meaning. So we use context clues. So, what does that mean exactly? When you're reading a story, a text, anything, and you don't know the meaning of the word, what's something you can do as a good word detective? What do you think? Yeah, we can look at the pictures or the illustrations and see if that could help us figure out the meaning. Can we always learn the meaning from the pictures? No, but it's one place to start, and it might help you figure out what a word means and what is happening. But that's just one clue. What else could we do? Yeah, we can look at the other words around the unknown word. We can look to see what are they talking about at that particular point in the book. Can the words plus the pictures be put together like clues to help us figure out the meaning? Oftentimes, it takes a little bit of using, clues from the picture, clues from the words around the word, and sometimes you have to use a little bit of what you already know to help you figure out the meaning of an unknown word. So let's practice with a word from Gilberto. And let's go to the page. One second. There we go. All right. So we're thinking about the word floats. Let's read these two pages, and see if we can figure out what the word floats means. It says, "At first, wind is gentle and just floats my balloon around in the air. But then, with a jerk, he grabs it away and carries it up to the top of a tree. Wind, oh wind, I say, blow it back to me, please." But he won't. He just laughs and whispers, "You, you, you." All right, so the word floats. So here is the word floats right here. And it says, "At first, wind is gentle and just floats my balloon around in the air. But then, with a jerk, he grabs it away and carries it up to the top." Okay, so I'm looking at both the picture and thinking about the other words around the word floats. So I see the balloon and it looks like Gilberto's holding it. It's up in the air, but it doesn't look like it's flying around wildly. I don't know if you see that as well, but it looks like it's just kind of, gently being held up in the air. And then I also read the words, "At first, wind is gentle." And if I were thinking about a balloon and if wind was just gentle, a gentle wind, it floats my balloon, I would think of that as being something, it would be pretty easy. Like it's not flying around and whipping around, it's just kind of a slow, gentle rising up into the sky. What do you think? And I also notice it says, "but then with a jerk, he grabs it away," which is telling me that that part is showing the opposite of what floats means, right? He jerks it away, grabs it away with a jerk. That gives me a totally different picture of something, kind of really wildly like being whipped away, being ripped out, which is the opposite of floats. So you see how we could take both the picture right here, and the other words in this part on this page to help us figure out that the word floats means to move slowly in the air, right? Or it could also mean just to kind of stay in one general place, right? Slowly. Those, that really are kind of the two meanings I think of when I think of float. It could be just kind of slowly, gently moving it up, or just kind of staying in the air in a certain spot, gently. Okay? So that's how we use pictures plus words. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of different pages, and I want you to see if you can figure out a good definition for the word carries. Okay, so we see it on this page, but then with a jerk, he grabs it away and carries it up to the top. Okay, so we see the word once there. So again, we can use the picture and the words to see if we can figure out the word carry. So if you want to look at your copy of the book, I know these are not numbered, which can make it a little tricky, but if you find the page where he has the balloon, and then let me show you the other two pages where we see this word. Let me just pause and get to the right page. Okay, if you keep flipping and find a page where you see the kites, this page says, when the big boys on the hill have kites to fly, wind helps them out. Wind carries their kites way up to the sky and all around. So here we see again a picture plus words that are around the word carries. I'm going to show you one more page where we will find this word. Okay, the last page in your book, it's not the last page of the book, but if you find the page that has the bubbles, and it says, wind likes my soap bubbles best of all. He can't make the bubbles. I have to do that. But he carries them way up into the air for the sun to color. Then he blows some back and makes me laugh when they burst in my eyes or on the back of my hand. So here's the third place in the book that we see the word carries. So what I'd like you to do is either looking at this screen or using your copy, be like a good word detective, get your imaginary magnifying glass out to put your clues together. Remember, pictures plus the words. And on the seesaw activity, I will just show it to you. You could either, in your own words, using the microphone, tell me what you think is a good definition or a good meaning for the word carries. Or if you would prefer to type it or write it, you could do either, whatever you prefer. If you want to record and just say it, or if you want to write it or type it, either way works. But what you think is a good definition for the word carries, using the clues, the context clues from the text. Okay? All right, I can't wait to hear what you think. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Great job.